The garage door rattled like a confession nobody wanted to hear, and there he stood, Michael, drenched from the summer storm, his white tank top clinging to every ridge of muscle like a second skin, eyes burning with a fire that had no business being aimed at me. "David, please. Just this once. Don't turn me away," he gasped, voice raw as the thunder cracking overhead, stepping inside without waiting for an invitation that I knew I'd never give. In that suspended heartbeat, the air between us hummed with the electric promise of ruin, the kind that doesn't just break a man but rebuilds him from the shards. I was 42, divorced 5 years running, and living in that cookie-cutter split level on Elm Street in suburban Cleveland like it was a life sentence I'd earned for loving too hard and losing everything. The house next door belonged to the Harrisons, solid Midwestern stock. Church every Sunday, block parties every 4th of July. Tom Harrison, my neighbor of a decade, was the kind of guy who mowed his lawn at dawn and grilled brats like they were sacraments. His wife, Linda, baked pies that won ribbons at the county fair. And then there was their boy, Michael. God, Michael. He'd grown up right under my nose, from scrawny kid kicking soccer balls over the fence into my yard to this 23-year-old storm of a man who made my pulse stutter just by existing. I'd always fix things. Cars, leaky faucets, the occasional neighborhood bike chain. It was my therapy after Sarah left, taking our dreams and half the furniture with her. "You're too closed off, David," she'd said, packing boxes while I stared at the wall. Closed off. Yeah, that tracked. I buried myself in the garage, tools spread out like talismans against the quiet. That's where Michael found me that night, 3 weeks after his college graduation, when the rain hit like God's own temper tantrum. He didn't knock, just pushed the side door open, water pooling at his sneakers, and fixed me with those hazel eyes that had haunted my dreams for longer than I cared to admit. I was elbow deep in the engine of my old Ford pickup, grease up to my forearms, radio crooning some Springsteen about glory days I'd never had. "Mr. David," he corrected himself, voice husky from the run he must have taken to blow off steam. "Can I talk to you?" I wiped my hands on a rag, heart already betraying me with its thud. "What's up, kid? Your dad know you're out in this mess. Casual. Keep it casual." But he shook his head, stepping closer, close enough that I caught the scent of rain and that clean, boyish soap he always wore. "It's not about Dad. It's about me. About us." The word hung there, heavier than the humidity. I'd seen the signs, the lingering glances over the fence when he mowed their lawn shirtless, the way he'd volunteer to help with my yard work just to brush past me, electric as a live wire. Once, during a backyard beer with Tom, Michael had sat across from me at the picnic table, foot nudging mine under the wood, and I'd nearly choked on my Bud Light. Forbidden fruit in the heartland, where love like ours got whispered about in church basements, not shouted from rooftops. "Michael," I started, voice gravelly, "you've had a few? This ain't the time." But he cut me off, grabbing my wrist, his grip firm, fingers calloused from summer construction gigs. "I'm sober as a judge, David. And I'm tired of pretending. Every night, I lie in bed thinking about you. About that time last summer, when you fixed my bike and your hand lingered on my thigh. You felt it too. I had. Christ, I had. But Tom was my friend. Linda baked me casseroles after the divorce. And Michael? He was their golden boy. Fresh out of Ohio State with a business degree and dreams of climbing the corporate ladder in some gleaming Columbus high-rise. I was the fixer-upper, the guy who'd peaked at 30 and slid into neutral. Go home, Mike, I said, pulling away, but my body screamed traitor, leaning into the heat of him. It can't. He didn't budge. Rain drummed on the roof like applause for our downfall. Why? Because I'm Tom's kid? Because you think I don't know what I want? His laugh was bitter, edged with that youthful desperation that twists the knife. I've known since I was 16, David. Watching you from my window, wondering what it'd be like to feel those hands on me without the excuse of a flat tire. The garage felt smaller, walls closing in with the weight of his words. I should have shoved him out, locked the door, drowned it all in whiskey. But instead, I cupped his jaw, thumb tracing the stubble I'd fantasized about, and pulled him into a kiss that tasted like regret and revelation. His mouth was soft, insistent, opening under mine like a secret finally told. Hands fumbled, mine on his soaked shirt, peeling it off. His tangling in my hair, pulling me closer. We stumbled against the workbench, tools clattering to the concrete floor, forgotten as casualties. It was messy, urgent, two souls colliding in the half-light. His body was a map of youth, taut abs from pickup basketball, thighs like coiled springs from track in high school. Mine was the roadmap of middle age, soft around the edges, scarred from a life of hard labor. But he didn't care. God, David, he murmured against my neck, nipping the skin there. You're everything. We moved to the old futon in the corner, the one I crashed on during late-night projects. And there, under the flicker of the fluorescent bulb, he showed me what it meant to be wanted again. Not fixed. Not pitted. Just desired, raw and real. After, we lay tangled, his head on my chest, my fingers tracing lazy circles on his back. The storm had eased to a drizzle, tapping out a lullaby. This changes everything, he whispered, voice small in the afterglow. I kissed his forehead, tasting salt. Yeah, it does. But change in a place like ours? It's a domino tipping toward disaster. The next morning dawned sticky and false, sunlight slicing through the blinds like accusations. Michael slipped out before dawn, pressing a quick kiss to my lips and vanishing into the Harrisons' backyard like a ghost. I lay there, sheets twisted, replaying every gasp, every touch, until the guilt crept in like fog off Lake Erie. What the hell had I done? Tom would kill me. Hell, I'd kill me if I were him. But the memory of Michael's laugh, low and genuine, as he teased me about my vintage tool collection, kept the regret at bay. For the first time in years, I felt alive. Dangerous, but alive. Work that day was a blur at the auto shop, wrenching on transmissions while my mind wandered to hazel eyes and rain-slick skin. By evening, I was back in the garage, pretending normalcy, when Tom wandered over with a six-pack. Hey, buddy, he boomed, all backslaps and easy grins. You look like shit. Rough night, I forced a chuckle, cracking a beer. Just the usual. You know me, we shot the Breeze Indians game, the new craft brewery downtown, until Linda called him in for dinner. As he ambled off, Michael appeared at the fence, casual as you please, in basketball shorts and a faded Buckeyes tee. Dad's got that block party thing next weekend, he said, voice pitched low. eyes sparkling with our secret. You coming? Under the words. The invitation, us. Again. I nodded, throat tight. Wouldn't miss it. The week blurred into stolen moments. A quick fix on his car that turned into hands under the hood and mouths desperate in the front seat. Late-night texts. Miss your voice. That I deleted obsessively. Heart racing. He'd sneak over after his parents' lights went out, and we'd fuck like the world was ending, whispering promises we couldn't keep. I love you, he said one night, post-climax haze, fingers interlaced. Love. The word terrified me, but I echoed it back, meaning every syllable. It was romance wrapped in barbed wire, dinners at hole-in-the-wall diners where we held hands under the table, drives along the Cuyahoga River where he'd lean his head on my shoulder, mixtapes of the Killers and Bon Iver playing soft. He talked dreams, escaping the suburbs, building a life in the city where no one blinked at two guys sharing gelato. I listened, envying his fire, wishing I had half his courage at his age. But doubt gnawed. I was the anchor, heavy with history. He was the sail, billowing toward horizons I couldn't chase. The block party arrived like a powder keg. Grills smoking, kids shrieking on slip-and-slides, neighbors in red, white, and blue polos swapping stories over coolers of Miller Lite. Tom manned the grill, flipping burgers with tongs like a scepter, while Linda fluttered with potato salad and small talk. Michael and I orbited each other, him tossing a football with the neighborhood teens, me nursing a beer on the Harrisons' porch, stealing glances that lingered too long. Then she showed up. Jenna. Michael's ex from college. All blonde waves and sundress confidence, wrapping him in a hug that pressed her curves against him. Missed you, Mikey, she purred, loud enough for the crowd. My stomach twisted. He'd mentioned her once, high school sweetheart, just friends now, but seeing it, her hand on his arm, laughing at some inside joke, gutted me. He caught my eye across the yard, mouthing it's nothing, but the damage was done. Jealousy, ugly and unfamiliar, coiled in my chest. When she pulled him aside for a catch-up, I drained my beer and wandered to the garage, our garage for air. Minutes later, he followed, door clicking shut behind him. David. Wait, who is she to you? The words burst out, sharper than intended. He blinked, hurt flashing. No one. We dated freshman year. That's it. She's in town for the weekend. Paced, tools blurring in my vision. Then why's she all over you, like you're still hers? Because she doesn't know, he snapped, voice rising. About us. About this. He gestured wildly between us, frustration etching his face. I can't just announce it to the world, David. Not yet. My parents. They'd freak. Dad still quotes that damn Chick-fil-A guy on marriage. The fight escalated, whispers turning to hisses. So I'm your dirty secret? The guy you sneak to when Jenna's not around. Pain laced my accusation, born of fears I'd buried deep. He grabbed my shirt, yanking me close. You're everything, you idiot. But this isn't easy. For either of us. We kissed to make up, fierce and forgiving, but the seed of doubt had sprouted. That night, alone in my bed, I stared at the ceiling, wondering if love like ours was doomed to wither in the light. Summer deepened, our rhythm frantic. He got a job at a marketing firm downtown, commuting by train, coming home exhausted but wired, crashing into my arms like I was his recharge station. We built rituals. Sunday pancakes in my kitchen, him in my boxers, flour on his nose, walks in the metroparks where we held hands only when the paths emptied. He opened up about his fears, coming out in a frat house that partied hard on beer pong and homophobic jokes, the isolation of pretending. I shared my scars, the closeted youth in the 90s, when AIDS headlines made love a death sentence, the marriage to Sarah as a shield, crumbling under the weight of unspoken truths. "You're my safe harbor," he said one evening, curled on the couch during a thunderstorm, Brokeback Mountain flickering on the TV, irony not lost on us. I held him tighter, throat aching. "And you're my wild sea," but the world intruded. Jenna lingered in town, visiting old friends, showing up at his work happy hours, texting incessantly. Michael brushed it off, but I saw the strain, the way he'd check his phone, jaw tight. One night, after a double shift, he stumbled in late, reeking of bourbon. "She cornered me," he slurred, collapsing onto the futon. "Said she still loves me. Wants to try again." My blood ran cold. "And you?" He looked up, eyes glassy. "Told her no. That I'm with someone." Pride swelled, chased by terror. "Who?" Pressed, though I knew. "You, David. Always you." We made love slow that night, reclaiming territory, but his words echoed. Someone. Not a man. Not yet. The betrayal brewed subtle, like a storm front on the horizon. It started with Tom. A casual comment over fence coffee one morning. "Mike's been off lately." Distant. "You notice anything?" I mumbled about job stress, heart hammering. Then Linda, dropping off cookies with a worried frown. "He's skipping family dinners. Spending too much time out." Guilt gnawed deeper, but so did resolve. We were in this together. Michael sensed the shift, doubling down on us. A weekend getaway to Hocking Hills, cabins in the woods, hiking trails where we kissed under waterfalls, no neighbors to judge. "Let's move," he proposed one night by the fire, stars wheeling overhead. "Columbus. Or Chicago. Start fresh." His enthusiasm was infectious, painting pictures of lofts and brunches, pride parades where we'd march hand in hand. I wanted it, God. I did, but roots ran deep. My shop, my house, the fragile peace with Tom. "I'll think about it," I hedged, kissing his temple. He deflated, but nodded. "Just promise me forever, David, forever." The word was a vow and a curse. Back home, the cracks widened. Jenna escalated, showing up unannounced at the Harrisons, all tears and second chances. Tom pulled Michael aside for a man-to-man, emerging with a gruff "sort your shit, son." Michael vented to me that night, pacing my living room. "He assumes it's her. Thinks I'm stringing her along. If he knew." "He won't," I soothed, pulling him down. But doubt festered. Was I holding him back, forcing him into shadows? The climax hit like a freight train 2 months in. Labor Day weekend. The neighborhood barbecue, bigger than the block party, live band, fireworks, the works. Michael and I played it cool. Him manning the cooler with Jenna, invited by Linda. Oblivious. Me chatting up Tom about fantasy football. But the air crackled, tension thick as the humidity. Halfway through, during a lull in the music, Jenna cornered me by the dessert table. "You're David, right? Mike's neighbor." Her smile was sharp, eyes assessing. "He talks about you a lot." "A lot." My beer turned to ash in my mouth. "Good things, I hope." She leaned in, voice syrupy venom. "Oh, the best. How you fixed his car last summer. How you two are so close now." The implication hung, and panic clawed my gut. Had Michael slipped, or was she fishing? Before I could deflect, Michael appeared, face paling. "Jenna, back off." She whirled, triumphant. "Tell him, Mike. Tell your neighbor why you won't commit to me." The band struck up again, but heads turned. Tom ambled over, brow furrowed. "Everything okay here?" Michael froze, eyes darting to me, pleading, terrified. In that moment, everything teetered. I could walk away. Let him spin a lie. Preserve the facade. But love, real love, doesn't cower. "It's me," I said, voice steady as the earth shifting underfoot. "He won't commit because he's with me." Silence crashed like cymbals. Tom's face drained of color. Linda gasped from the porch. Jenna's laugh was brittle, shattering. Michael stared, tears welling, then lunged forward, grabbing my hand. "David, you!" Tom choked, stepping back like I'd swung at him. "My son? With you?" Betrayal twisted his features. Friendship severed in a breath. "How long? Mike, how could you?" "Dad, listen." Michael started, but Tom was gone, storming inside, door slamming like Judgment Day. Linda followed, sobbing. Neighbors murmured, phones subtly angling for pics. Jenna sneered, "Knew it," before vanishing into the crowd. Michael turned to me, hand trembling in mine. "You didn't have to." "Yes, I did." I pulled him close, ignoring the stares. "We're done hiding." The fallout was biblical. Tom froze us out. Mail returned unopened. Fence reinforced with no trespassing signs. Linda sent a single text. "Please, think of the family." Michael moved in with me that night, bags thrown in the truck. But the weight of exile crushed him. Nights blurred into arguments. His regret, "I ruined everything." My defiance, "We saved ourselves." Jenna spread rumors online, tagging local groups, suburban scandal, neighbor steals son. Trolls piled on, death threats in my inbox. Work suffered. Customers whispered, tires slashed in the shop lot. Michael quit his job after HR suggested a leave. We hunkered down, fortifying our bubble movie marathons, takeout from the one Thai place that didn't judge. But the betrayal lingered, a ghost in our bed. "Do you regret it?" he asked one dawn, voice small. "Never," I lied, holding him as sobs racked his frame. Truth was, the cost carved hollows in us both. Winter clamped down, gray and unrelenting. Cleveland's lake effect snow buried the lawns, mirroring our isolation. Therapy helped, separate sessions first, then joint, unpacking the wreckage. Michael's anger at Tom surfaced raw. He called me an abomination. His own blood. I mourned the friendship, the easy barbecues, but not the lie. Healing came in fits. A pride sticker on my truck, defiantly rainbow against the rust. Michael's first art class, sketches of us, tender and true. One night, post-argument about money, his unemployment draining savings, we lay exhausted, and he traced my wedding ring scar. Marry me, David. Not legally, yet, but promise me. Tears stung. Yes, spring thawed the ice, and with it, tentative bridges. Linda showed up unannounced one April afternoon. Pie in hand, apple, my favorite. Tom's. Processing, she said, eyes red-rimmed. He misses you both. No forgiveness, but a crack in the wall. Michael, eavesdropping from the kitchen, softened. Tell him we're okay. Happy, she nodded, hugging him fierce. That's all I want. The humanistic turn wasn't fireworks, but embers. Tom never fully mended. Awkward nods over the fence. A Christmas card unsigned. But he attended Michael's birthday dinner that summer, silent but present. Jenna faded to a bad memory, her toxicity exposed in a viral call-out post by Michael. We moved to a small apartment in Tremont, artsy Cleveland enclave where rainbow flags flew free. I sold the house, bought a ring, simple platinum, engraved Wild Sea. On our anniversary, that rainy garage night, we stood on our balcony, city lights twinkling like absolution. Michael leaned into me, wind tousling his hair. Everything changed in an instant, he murmured. I kissed him, slow and sure. And I'd do it again. Love isn't a straight line in America's heartland. It's a detour through storms, betrayals that scar but don't define. We emerged not unbroken, but reforged, two men, hand in hand, choosing each other over the easy lies. In the end, that's the real glory days. Not perfection, but persistence. Human, messy, and profoundly ours.